Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic the Gathering. Got some questions or discussion to bring up? Bring them to us today, and let's have a great discussion this morning. Also, we do Decklist review, so if you've got a 75 that you'd like some feedback on, maybe you'd like to fix the mana base, help defeat a deck that you've never beaten before, submit it to us, and both myself and the community would love to give you some feedback. So brew up your cups of coffee, and let's brew up some Magic this morning. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for May 4th, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Playmat Showdown. What's up? What's up, party people? Well, I don't know if we're the partyish people. Yeah, let's all bust out the drinks this morning. Welcome to the splash pad. Good morning, MTG Box Inferior. Good morning, Alfred, D-Tie Gaming, and Evan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Stefano, Scrub and Scrubs. Elementals player, go check out you need some elemental gameplay or streaming, go check out Scrub and Scrubs on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, and yellow chair, MTG Ectoplasm for all your spirit podcast needs. And Donald Lavault. Wonder how many content creators follow me or are here on Coffee and MTG every morning. We got RG. Good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Jeppe. Good morning, Scott Helgert. Good morning. Hoping my deck gets reviewed. Fingers crossed. Hey, so what are the odds now? There's two of them per. Oh man, I can't calculate this because they're sampling without replacement. Let's do some crappy math. It's like one out of. It's because it's two. About 32 get submitted. I do two every single day. So very poor odds means one in. It's like 1 in 16. More accurate odds, it's 2 out of 32 times 1 out of 31. Whatever those odds are. Maybe we can I don't want to calculate that. If anyone's got the odds, you let us know. Those are your odds of getting chosen for Decklist review. D-Tie Gaming, already with the questions. Would careful study be fair and modern? I've gotten this question 20 times. Oh! What do you want it for? You busted things on. Whoops. Oh, I'm not sharing anything. You can't even hear the music. All right, here's it's music world now. Yeah, what do you want to do with this, huh? All you want to do is busted things with this. You're not trying to do anything fair with careful study, huh? What do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna loot for value? You know, it's just an artificial like pond or something like that. No, you're gonna put Arclight Phoenixes in the graveyard. You're gonna try to go for a turn 2 kill with Manamorphose. That's what you're trying to do. Fuck no. Careful study does not belong in modern. Won't be fair. The back half of Faithless Looting is not the problem. It's the front half that's a problem. This is what creates the turn 2 kills. This is what puts Dredge over the top. Dredge would definitely play this. They would warp their mana base so that they could have this on turn 1. Easy. I mean, it doesn't have but like I said, the front half is the problem. The back half is not. How about this? You can have a card that doesn't do shit on turn 1 or turn 2, but you can have a Faithless. How about you can have a turn 3 Faithless Looting with the same flashback? That'll be fair. I'll give that to you. But that's not what you want. You want those turn 2 kills. So no, you're not getting a careful study. That's the deal. There's nothing that it would be terrible in modern. I most certainly hope that's not in Modern Horizons. Crossing my fingers they don't lose their damn mind. So just like D-Tie Gaming did, 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question helps me find your questions amongst all the comments on multiple YouTube channels and a Facebook fan page I have. Or you can cheat the system with super chats. If you donate with super chats on YouTube, your question gets pushed to the top of my feed. Wild Mongrel in Modern, totally fair. I don't think they would waste their time. Nimble Mongoose didn't even see play for crying out loud. So Wild Mongrel, 2/2, discard a card, gets +1/+1, becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. Maybe it's an interesting discard outlet. I don't know. I don't think it's play. I mean, yeah, I don't. It's like, it's in wild Nicodle ranges of playable. Like, it might be good in some deck, but really, it's not gonna do it. It's not enough. If it got permanent counters, oh my god, would they upgrade things in Modern Horizons, people? We've seen it before. They upgrade cards. They might make a Wild Mongrel where you permanently have counters on it. Not this end of turn nonsense. Permanently is a new color. Permanently is bigger. Simple as that. Is Death and Taxes struggling because Helid is top of the meta? That's partially a reason. The other partial reason is that it's probably struggling against prowess decks. You know, those gut shots and all that removal, the bolts, lava darts. I don't think Death and Taxes like that stuff. They don't like it. And they try to... I mean, like Thalia can't survive one gut shot, so not good stuff. Spidey Senses. Hello from New Zealand. Nikachu, love your videos. Thank you very much. Thank you. From Canada. Death and Taxes with 80 cards or with 60 cards. I think they're both fine, but I think the 80 card version has a lot of merit to it, given that getting Yorion is good value and blinking all your stuff is very good. Maybe if the format is really fast, maybe 60 cards is more valuable. You know, I would have to have Spider Space here to give me the rundown, which one is better under which circumstances. But I'm going to guess it's 80, given that I think he plays with the Yorion Taxes build more often. Plays with the Yorion. He loves his Yorion Taxes. Simple as that. Why not? You have a free card in the... You get a free card from the sideboard. Has synergy with almost all your decks. Skyclave, Apparition, Flicker, Whiff, Stoneforge, Mystic. What's not to love? That's just free value. Final thoughts on Yawgmoth combo after talking with Tom. Underrated deck. My thoughts were before it was an underrated deck. After talking to him, still very underrated deck. Simple as that. You could grind leagues with this thing easily, and it is a top-tier competitive deck. Makes top 8s in modern challenges, and not only in his hands either. Other players are doing it as well. Alan Burnett, are we afraid of another Planeswalker like Ren and 6 in Modern Horizons 2? I want to say they're not going to do that again. That was a mistake to push the limits on the Planeswalkers at 2 mana. But maybe I'm wrong, because they did make... Like, why did you make Bloodchief's Thirst if you weren't going to make... If you weren't going to make, like, more 2 mana Planeswalkers? When they printed Bloodchief's Thirst, they basically said, okay, we're going to print 2 mana Planeswalkers. That's the deal. That's what's going to happen here. And I think, so maybe we could... I don't know if it's going to be the same power level, but I guess we can expect another 2 mana. We might be able to expect another 2 mana Planeswalker. If not in Modern Horizons 2, somewhere else. Somewhere else there'll be a 2 mana Planeswalker. Frame Assist. Any suggestions for Jund Shadow's mana base on a budget? I know I chose the wrong deck. Just play with as many shocks as possible. I would... Do you really need... Do you... I guess it doesn't matter if you were to go to 2 colors. You don't save yourself. So the 2 things that you can do... first, play all the shocks. Maximize on shocks. So you're going to play with Overgrown Tomb. There's options. You can play with Overgrown Tomb, Blood Crypt. You can play with Stomping Ground. Now, these aren't... I mean, okay, maybe these shocks are not ideal. You got to play with some shocks, though, or you're going to be really screwed. As Stin just suggested, yeah, now we go to the Pain Lands, but I don't know the names of all the Pain Lands. I don't even know one Pain Lands. Okay, what... Carplusen Forest? Carplusen Forest, I know, is one. Okay, so there's one Pain Land. It's the worst one because it's not black. What are the names of all the Pain Lands? The Jund colors. I've got the image in my mind, but I don't know the name of the cards. But they're definitely worth it because you deal that. You get... I mean, that damage accumulates over time. Not the most budget cheap thing, but you have to go this route. Llanowar Wastes. Man, that's a name I have not heard in a long time. I mean, I started playing around Apocalypse. Between was it Nemesis or Masks? Oh, I think it was Mask, Nemesis, something else. But that's something else, and Oh, no, it wasn't Apocalypse. No, I started playing around it a little bit before Invasion. But anyway, I was in this era. Sulfuric Springs, that's the other one. Sulfurous Springs. Where's the old picture? I want the old one with the little goblin. Why is it in this Deckmasters things? Let's look at all the prints. Where's the god? There we go. That's OG for you right there. That's OG. The little smiling devil thing. Oh, he's not a goblin, I guess. He's just a little smiling devil. 1995. Holy crap, this is old. Snowlands have been around for forever then. Like 2 years after the game came out. That's crazy. But we're looking on a budget. Nurturing peatland is going to be money. Actually, let's see how much money. How much money? Not much more, but like still, if you're on a budget, you have to go the other direction. I would be incentivized to pay a little bit more than double the price to get the peatlands. You're gonna have to spend some money on your mana base, maybe a $100 or so, like a few $100. But then, or you can get, or you could get the these Painlands in really damaged form. I'm sure you can get them for like $2 if they're really damaged. It's probably, you deal damage to yourself, you deal damage to your deck. That's how you can make your deck cheap. So anyway, I think the Painlands definitely work. It works! We got Eldraloki. What do you think the chances of Allosaurus Shepherd getting reprinted into Modern? No fucking chance. I hope not. It seems a bit pushed for Modern. Well, okay, to be fair, if they printed this card into Modern, maybe it wouldn't put elves over the top. It'd still be a very good card, though. Still be a very good card. Because it's not... In Legacy, you're... To some degree, you're afraid of... maybe they're not even afraid of counterspell decks in Legacy. I don't know what would happen. Green spells you control can't be countered. They don't got the big payoffs in Modern. They don't got, like, a glimpse of nature. They don't got natural order. Maybe it would be fine. It's a lot stronger in Legacy, that's for sure. Maybe fine. So we'll just finish that off with there's a chance. There's a chance. It's not impossible. It's just strong. It's definitely stronger in Legacy because there's more counter spells there. How is Jund Shadow positioned against 4 to 5 color scape shift? Probably poorly. I don't know. Like, I don't know, but I would imagine not great because if Jund Shadow will at least deal a few damage to themselves, and then it won't take long for... I mean, if they go just dry to the Elysian Grove, get 6 lands and play Scape Shift, you're so dead. You're most definitely going to be dead at that point. So, it sounds like and you don't have any disruption. At least Grixis Shadow had, what's it called? Stubborn Denial. So, it in my mind, I don't know how the matchup plays out, but in my mind, it seems like that 4 to 5 color Scape Shift deck would just wreck Shadow. Just wreck it. They would have, like, the Shadow deck has to win super fast. And they have some interaction still in those Bring to Light decks. But I don't know for sure. Maybe Thoughtseize and their Fast Clock is still good enough. So I don't know for sure. When the humans stream start? Not anytime soon. Not moving to humans. Any straight up reprints besides enemy fetch lands except in Modern Horizons 2? Well, what is the new card? You pay a green, name land or non-land, search your reveal cards from the top of your library until you find one of them. That card apparently was an accidental early spoiler to Modern Horizons 2. So that would be technically the only other reprint because it already has been printed. It's going to get printed again. So anyway, that's all. Outside of that, nothing confirmed. And we might start seeing... What is the date today? I think by next week, we're going to see spoilers come out. Or they're going to make an announcement that spoilers are going to be coming out. Because they usually start spoiling stuff about a month in advance. DTI Gaming, I played Brazen Borrower in my blue-white control yesterday at my local game store, went 3-0-1. Turns out Brazen Borrower seems pretty good. I did not see any blue-white list with Brazen Borrower. Should blue-white players consider playing Brazen Borrower in their 75? They could probably... I've definitely played against Brazen Borrower in a control deck, but it's just not common because bouncing things is not as important to them as just destroying it. You know, they've got a lot of bouncing effects. Maybe, I don't know if you're not playing with Teferi Time Raveler, maybe this is like a pseudo good replacement to Teferi Time Raveler, but usually they don't want to bounce stuff. They just deal with the damn thing. But it's a good card. It's a strong card, so I don't doubt that it's playable in blue-white control. There's only so many flex slots though. I don't know how many borrowers you're playing, but like there's always, you can, sometimes they play Vendilion Click, sometimes they play this and that, so there's a lot of room to, you know, play a random fun of that's still a strong card. Oops, where did I go? I am lost. MTG Ectoplasm, what are your thoughts on Channel Fireball restructuring and becoming more like TCG player? They're going big. Channel Fireball is going big. Going big or going home. They realized, you know what? The money's not into buying and selling Magic cards. The money is like getting other people to buy and sell Magic cards for you. So yeah, Channel Fireball is going to become a TCG player. Are they still a store right now? Okay, they're still a store for now, but soon they're not going to be a store. They're going to be TCG player. So my thoughts are they keep expanding their business. They're going bigger and bigger. They think that there's probably more money in there's probably more money to be made trying to help other businesses sell their cards than to sell cards themselves. Freck Morris, do you think there are any viable mono blue decks in Modern? I mean, at the highest competitive level, appears to be not, but your best bets are things like maybe mono blue taking turns, mono blue Merfolk. There are some really fringe mono blue Delver decks out there. Anything else? Is there anything? I don't know if there's any other mono blue decks. Like Mill definitely needs black. Like, if you're just talking about a deck that you can conceivably make, like, sleeve up, it'll be a reasonable 75. Those are my suggestions. Oh, Mono Blue Tron is a great suggestion, yeah. It's, well, it's not really a mono blue deck, though. It's like it's a two-color deck involving colorless mana and color. Well, I mean, I guess it depends if you're playing Thought-Knot Seer, but in some versions of Mono Blue Tron, it is a two-color deck, colorless and blue. So that's a pretty good choice. Mono Blue Tron might be the best bet if you want to go mono blue. Where am I with the questions? Oh, is Neoform lurking in the meta, or what happened to that deck? It got killed. I mean, it lost a few things. Lost Simian Spirit Guide. Yeah, you could like combo off still with what's it called? It's hard. It's way harder though. Mox Amber. But also it sort of died the moment that you printed Force of Negation. Like, it was around, but it wasn't good. It was the problem. It wasn't good because Force of Negation just crushed that deck. Even with the help of Veil of Summer, it wasn't enough. Mike EJ, companion cards are bullshit. Change my mind. I'm not. I also think they're BS. But that's why you should play them. Do you think that Sarah Sanctum would see Modern play? Probably not. As far as I know, this doesn't seem Legacy play. Add white to your mana pool for each enchantment you control. No, there's no heavy. I mean, like, it would see Fringe play in that, like an Enchantress deck or something. Or I would say you would see heavy play in that deck, but that deck overall would still be pretty Fringe. If Carnage Tyrant was printed instead of Force of Nature, would it have seen play back in the day? That's a good question. I want to say that Force of Nature didn't even see play back in the day. Can't be counter, trample, hexproof. Yeah, most definitely. Like if Force of Nature saw any play. I know it was like really exciting for like, what's it called? Ponies love this card, but I don't know if it was an actual. I don't know if it was an actual competitive card. When did it come out? What was its first edition? Oh, Alpha and Beta. It's an OG card. Genlo, what are you thinking about reprinting Ren and 6 or Force Negation in Modern Horizons 2? It's possible, but I mean, they didn't explicitly say that they're not reprinting stuff, because the first time around with Modern Horizons, they said we're not reprinting anything. We are printing new cards into Modern, and we're designing new cards. So maybe they can reprint some stuff. I just think it's very unlikely that they reprint the chase cards from the first one and the second one, but it's possible. And maybe the fact that they haven't defined what they're doing with this set makes it more likely. Because if they said, oh yeah, we're reprinting stuff that we've printed before in Modern Horizons, I guess they cannot say that. Because if they did, everyone would just assume it's Force Negation and Ren and 6. Ugly Hood Rat, Nikachu, what are the new decks invented since Strixhaven in Modern? Nothing. I don't think there is anything newly invented. But, you know, not that I know of. Oh, Boros Prowess. Boros Prowess. And this is it's picking up more results. Boros Prowess is becoming a more and more popular deck. What the hell is this? Look at this on MTG Goldfish. It's called Blue Red, but there's not a fucking blue card in this deck. What is wrong with you, MTG Goldfish? So who knows how many times people are winning with this deck? We have no idea. So look at this. So we got Clever Lumimancer, Swift Spear, Soulscar Mage, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Wow, is that the missing piece to this puzzle? Maybe. I like this list. See, this is what... Oh, Mishra's Bobble's still in here. Whatever. I like this, though. I like the Crash Through, the Lava Dart, the Lightning Bolt, Mutagenic Growth, Manamorphose, Light Up the Stage. No Boros Charm, though. Is that just not good enough? I would probably have Boros Charm instead of Mishra's Bauble, but that's just me. Or maybe this deck is trying to lean... Well, whatever. This Dreadhorde Arcanist also can't use this card. Maybe this is the missing piece of the puzzle. Anyway, picking up steam. What is some other good list? Look, we got second place. Or is this the second place by Mako? It is. It's a good finish. It looks like a 17th place. No, let's look at this 19th place. Leon and Light Scrap. The problem is this flex slot here. We don't know what to do with this flex slot, it looks like. Now, this one's running the Boros Charm. I like the Boros Charm, but this list didn't... This list got 9th place. That's no second place. So anyway, the people are still trying to figure this one out. Maybe Boros Charm is just too clunky. Maybe it's too clunky. Anyway, that's the only new archetype as far as I... Is there any other ones that I'm missing? I don't think there's anything else. Gutshot into Light Up the Stage is the missing piece to Prowess. Challenge me. They got that in here, though, don't they? Oh, they don't? Yeah, this one's not running... It's running Mutagenic Growth, but it's not running Gutshot. How about the other one? I didn't even notice. Yeah, no Gutshot. You just don't have room for everything. For you, why is it Prowess is played now? Because it's still really strong and powerful and resistant to hate cards. Chalice on 1, Sprite Dragon, Stormwing Entity. Also, Stormwing Entity, really hard to kill. You want to Fatal Push that? 5 mana. 5 mana value. With the widespread use of Chalice of the Void, how concerned would you be about another 2-mana Planeswalker if they were to print another one in Modern Horizons 2? I don't think it would change anything. Because also, if you can get Chalice on 1, you can also get Chalice on 2. Anyway, I'm not... It doesn't matter if it's a 2-mana Planeswalker. What matters is how damn good is it. Like, if you make a pretty weak 2-mana Planeswalker that might have some utility, but, like, isn't that powerful, then I think that's fine. Problem with Wrenn and 6 is it kills 1-mana creatures, and then if you kill their early 1-drop, then how do you attack the Wrenn and 6 later on in the game? Nikachu, we gotta be memers. I mean dreamers. Yuri and Merfolk. How do we do it? We just play... Well, Emayashi tried that a few times. Maybe I should explore it again. Just as a random card that you don't get that much value out of, but it, you know, it's just an extra card I can pull from my sideboard and can block those Stormwing entities. Will you make any Pioneer videos anytime soon? No, I have no plan for Pioneer until Pioneer gets popular again. The thing as a content creator, there needs to be the demand there. The demand needs to be there. You know, I can't, like, that's why I don't play Legacy anymore. I tried Legacy, but I got half the numbers than I got from Modern. If you want the channel to grow, you got to go where people are watching. And so when people get excited for Pioneer, and I know you're out there, I know there are some people, they want the Pioneer today, but we need to wait for everyone to get excited about Pioneer. Right now, people are pretty excited for Historic, though. It's more actively played. Arvel, hey Nikachu, do you think any Blue X control deck is any without Force Negation? They are so expensive, and I fear the money lost due to a ban or reprint. Well, okay, first off, there's not a chance in hell it's getting banned. It's not overpowered. I don't know who you're listening to, but there is zero chance Force Negation gets banned. That's like saying Force of Will should have got banned in Legacy a long time ago. Without Force Negation, the format would be so much worse than it looks like right now. Force Negation keeps things like Neobrand in check. Highly keeps Neobrand in check. So you don't have to worry about it getting banned. Reprinted, guaranteed, but I mean, that's just how it is. You don't know when that reprint is coming. It could be another 2 years. So, and then even when the reprint, and so like the price of the card can keep going up in that time. Anyway, and it's not like when they reprint Force and Negation that the card is going to crash to like $10 or something like that. It's, I mean, it will go down maybe 30%, but it's not gonna collapse to nothing. Especially since when the price goes down, people who wanted to buy at a lower price point start buying back in, and then the, you know, the price sort of levels off somewhere. So I would say don't worry about bad things happening in Force Negation. And just accept that it's definitely going to get reprinted. Do you need it in Blue X control? You could live without it. There's a lot of good control options. You can live without it. It's better off if you have it, but you can live without it, I would say. You'd be technically playing like a budget control deck in some way. You think Fires will anytime see play in Modern, and what cards keep it dead? Oh, you mean Fires of Invention? I think the day we can... Okay, I think Fires of Invention is a very good underrated card. But, what's it called? What's the green enchantment? What's the green enchantment called? Wilderness Reclamation. Oops. I think a lot depends on this card. When this card is good, Fires is good. But the problem is when this card is good, then people will only play this card. And it's only until this card would get banned would people start looking at Fires of Invention. So, I think both cards are very, very good. Wilderness Reclamation will certainly have seen play. But the point is, if either of these cards are good, Wilderness Reclamation will just be better, and people will just play Wilderness Reclamation. So that's my thoughts on it. So it needs to be a metagame where Wilderness Reclamation is so good it gets banned, and then people can start looking at Fires of Invention to do a very similar thing. What's your favorite companion? My favorite's actually Lurrus. I think that's just a very neat companion. It's hard to say if Lurrus is even going to be busted if you take out Mishra's Bauble. I'm so curious how many decks will stop playing Lurrus when you take Mishra's Bauble out of the equation. I was streaming on Sunday, forgot about the new time and missed it. Well, it's not the new time. That's the same time. I've always been there on Sunday. Sunday's always been there. I just cut out the Thursday. It was a nightmare, actually. It was terrible. I still had fun, but I didn't do a lot of winning that day. Not a lot of winning. Cat Senpai, if you woke up and your future self was there telling you that Modern Horizons 2 reprints had ruined Modern. Reprints? Oh, you mean like printed, the old cards printed into Modern? What 3 cards would you think were printed? Three cards got printed and it ruined Modern. Man. Okay, I'm going to give that to the crowd. I don't think Force of Will would do it. What other really powerful cards? Powerful cards that are not on the reserved list? What on earth could go into Modern? I'm trying to think, like, what in lands could go into Modern? Oh, yeah, maybe Brainstorm. That would be a big one. Wasteland, that's catastrophic. That actually is a good one. That's a card that they could print. I don't think they'll ever put Wasteland in Modern. That would be earth-shattering. That would wipe clean a lot of archetypes. Say goodbye to the Scape Shift deck. Oh, the big mana decks. Scape Shift, Niv to Light. Tron, Eldrazi Tron, Amulet. I would assume Wasteland's a fantastic one. I don't think... Dark Ritual is a good one. That's actually not too bad. I don't think there's a chance Yawgmoth's Bargain would do it. But Dark Ritual, that's possible. Well, I don't think they would print... I don't think they'd put a banned card from Legacy into Modern. This would be a good one. D-Tie Gaming. Back to Basics would be a great one. I think Richard Import would be very fair. Space Marine desperately wants Wasteland. That would be really earth-shattering if they put that in Modern. So I think Dark Ritual, Wasteland. Well, Dark Depths is already a Modern legal card. It's just banned. Maybe Careful Study is not a bad idea. Maybe Mana Drain. Yeah, they don't give us Counterspell. They give us Mana Drain. That would be huge. It just doesn't sound like likely. Hey, Emiliano. Mystical Tutor. Well, I would assume that... I'm assuming it has to be a card that isn't getting banned. Or isn't banned before. So, I don't know. Maybe I think Price of Progress. Maybe Price of Progress. Although I think they could suck up that card. Mana Crypt. Well, Mana Crypt's not even a legal card in Legacy. Neither is Soul Ring. Okay, we're gonna go with Dark Ritual, Wasteland, and... Oh! No, isn't City of Traders on the reserved list? One of them's not. I think it's Ancient's Tomb you're talking about. Maybe Ancient Tomb. So it could be Ancient Tomb, Dark Ritual, Wasteland. Those are not bad suggestions. Not bad suggestions. Alfred James asks, why is Master of Waves more played in Merfolk than Elementals? Well, it used to be, but not so much anymore. Mostly because, like, it's just gets killed off by, like, Plague Engineer and Walking Ballista. But I think it sees more play in Merfolk is because we don't have any top-end cards, whereas Elementals has tons. I mean, you have, like, Omnath. You have really expensive ones like, what is it called? Vesperlark? Is it Vesperlark or... No, this isn't what I was telling you. It's the 5 mana one, the 5 mana evoke one. But you've got a lot of top-end elementals, so you don't want to play with Master of Waves. Mikey J says, no one cares about Legacy community. He's kind of right. I mean, hey, there's a very devoted Legacy community, but the problem is they're just too damn small. They're just too small. Like, if I make Legacy videos, people will watch them, but like, it's just too, the community is just too small. Is it safe to butt Teferi Time Raveler? I don't know what the question is. Sorry about that, Drengoa. Ben Couch, how do you feel about forces? I always get super tilted and I feel like it's so not magic-y. Am I just being whiny? Yes! It sounds like you're trying to do something really busted and very fast, and you're trying, and you're hoping your opponent could not interact with you. And the point of the forces is that you can't win on turn 2 through the fact that the opponent is such a clunky deck. So, yes. I think the forces are great. Except Force of Vigor if it's being used by the combo deck. I find that's really cheesy. Zach Glover. Nikachu, what would it take to make Devoted Druid playable again in the meta? I have been having a lot of success with the Laplacian list at my local game store, but it sees almost no play online anymore. Healed Company has to get banned. It's just a it's Healed. Here's the deal when it comes to combo decks. Like, let's say Dredge is the best graveyard deck in the metagame. Then people who want to play a graveyard deck play Dredge, and they'll never look at Living End or Goryo's Vengeance or any of those other ones. They'll just look at Dredge. And the same thing goes with these 2-card creature combo decks. So Healed Company is just an overall more resistant deck to interaction. The combos are easier to pull off. And like they are 2-card combos, whereas with Devoted Company, it's basically 3 or 4-card combos. So, and you know, Healed really hard to remove from the battlefield, whereas all your enablers die to removal. So the point is, you need Healed Company to get banned, and then from there, people can start looking at those other creature combo decks. Hey, all the more power to you. If you can still win with that deck, despite the fact, then hey, don't pay any attention to the metagame. If you're winning with your deck, keep winning with the deck. You know, when Humans was on top of the metagame, I didn't give a crap. I didn't move on to Humans. I stuck with my Merfolk because that's what I'm winning with. But anyway, that's why it's not seeing as much play. Because if you want to play a deck, anyone who wanted to play a deck like that, they play Healed Company. Genlo, do you think Historic became BS with the broken Legacy and Commander cards like Brainstorm, Mizzix Mastery in every deck and makes consistent turn 3, turn 4 kills? Not really. I don't feel that way about Historic yet. That it's all turn 3, turn 4 kills. I think the answers are there. Would you like to see a new companion in a future set? I would, but I have a feeling no one else would. Let's just put it that way. I like these changes, but no one else does. So we got to sort of go with what the community overall likes and feels. What does it take to achieve master status like Merfolk Mastery? So my opinion, you got to be playing consistently with the deck for at least, ideally, a year. And you have got open results in a competitive format, like in a competitive metagame or a competitive field, I want to say. So either GP, or you go consistently deep in a GP, like you made a top 16, you made a top 32, you made another top 16, or you make a few top 8s in modern challenges. That says a lot that you are able to, because it says 2 things. So first off, you're able to beat really strong players, because in open events, you have to play against good players. As you win, you play against other players that are really good and are winning with you. And on top of that, if you stuck with the deck long enough, because people just snap dump their deck when things go bad. And that's not really a sign of a master. If you can't, I mean, some decks, it depends. Like you might have to dump it because of like let's say Sodak, he doesn't always play Dredge. He'll be like, okay, there's too much graveyard hate. Screw it, we're not playing Dredge this weekend. I'll get back when the metagame, when people change their sideboard a little bit. That's totally fine. But for the most part, there are also people who are like, well, Humans isn't winning anymore. Okay, I'm not going to play Humans anymore. I'm going to play something else. I'm going to play whatever is the best deck in the format. And then like, well, you can't call yourself a master unless you play the deck, I think, quite consistently over a long period of time. Ideally. I mean, we can make exceptions for what a master is, but I mean, in my mind, you know, I see someone, they play a certain deck, they got these certain results, they've been playing the deck long enough, that's a master to me. Poor year. Hey, new here. As a Merfolk player, I was curious, what kind of Merfolk do you think the deck needs the most to boost the deck right? A 1-drop. I mean, a lot of people who come here day in and day out, they know that. I think Merfolk needs one more powerful 1-drop. That would help the deck so much. We have so many things to do on turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, but we do not have so many impactful things to do on turn 1. And you might say, well, we got Aether Vial. Okay, what else? Well, what else? What else do we got? They're like the best decks in the format. Look at it. Let's go back to okay, why is this deck even a deck? Why is this deck even in a discussion? Because it's got like 12 really good things to do on turn 1. Clever Lumimancer, Swift Spear, Soulscar Mage. They can flood the board with these 1-drops. So Merfolk can't do that. We don't have any like really outrageously powerful one mana plays. Unfortunately. Will Mono Black become strong if Him is printed in Modern Horizons 2? Very unlikely. Him Turok will go into some other, like a Jund deck or something. Just be adopted by some other deck. Mono Black, what would take Mono Black over the top is if they've got some like really good payoff for being Mono Black, basically. There needs to be a good win condition or a Planeswalker or something. Oh, is it safe to buy Teferi Time Raveler? I think that's what I think that's what Drengo is going at. Teferi Time Raveler is going to get banned. This is a problem. I can promise you that. I don't know when it's going to get banned. And it's not going to get banned because it's too strong. It's going to get banned because people just don't like it. It happened in Historic and it happened in Pioneer. It did not get banned for power level reasons. It got banned because the community just hates this damn card. It makes competitive Magic really annoying to play. And it's the same thing's going to happen in Modern. I don't think this is an overpowered card, but when are they going to do that? I don't know. I mean, maybe something from Modern Horizons will push this over the top. So I mean, it could get banned today. It could be sorry, not today. It could get banned maybe 4 months from now. Could be a year. Could be 2 years from now. I don't know that time frame. But if you want to say, is it safe? Like based on history, it is very likely this card is going to get banned. Very likely. I just don't know when. Right now, it's in a safe spot. Like no one's calling for Teferi's head in Modern at the moment. But you don't know how like the tastes and the opinions of the community are going to change 1 year from now, or when a new set comes out. Like if Blue-White or Blue-White X Control becomes OP again, and Teferi Time Raveler is a key piece to it being OP, then the people will start complaining about Teferi. Like, they gotta get rid of Teferi. And between the new cards that push Teferi over the top and Teferi itself, Wizards will be more inclined to ban the older card. So they'll ban Teferi Time Raveler. So anyway, is it safe to buy it? Depends how long you want to play with the card. Depends. Right now, very safe. But like so much changes whenever they make a new set. Every set that they come out with. Mitch asks, hey Nikachu, thoughts on playability of Eliminate in Modern? Very playable, right? Oh, wait a minute. Is Eliminate the... we'll just say it's playable. It's probably more playable in a deck that's like mono color, or like a 2-color deck that doesn't have access to good planeswalker creature removal. Very playable. Very, very playable, though. It's just a lot of traditional deck. Like, maybe that would go... Well, I don't... Does it go well in a bug deck? Maybe not, because they have Abrupt Decay. I don't know what color combination this would go in. Maybe Rakdos or something? Because they don't have all the greatest options. Going to get some groceries soon. Want something specific? Yeah, get me hot Hot dog buns. I got hot dogs, no hot dog buns. Isn't it so annoying? They give you so many hot dogs, but the hot dog buns don't match the number of hot dogs you got. And they do this on purpose. So you got like extra hot dog buns in the end, so you get more hot dogs, and then you run out of buns, and now you got extra hot dogs. So now you got to get hot dog buns, and it takes forever. I think they've positioned it in such a way that they maximize how much you buy between the two products before it evens out. And then if one of the hot dog buns is like broken or something, then that changes the math too. So it's hard to win in that situation. Which should they ban, Heliod or Ballista? Ballista was fair. Well, it's possible they just ban Spike Feeder and they leave the combo so you still have a deck, but it's just harder. The Heliod Ballista combo is way harder to pull off because you need to give Ballista lifelink. So that's like that gives you a lot of opportunity to respond to the combo. Not to mention Ballista cannot be Coco'd into play. So I actually think the correct... But it's so innocent, though, Spike Feeder. Spike Feeder didn't really do anything wrong. And the Infinite Life combo between Spike Feeder and Archangel of Thune have been in the format for forever. So it's nothing unusual. When you ban Spike Feeder, you're clearly doing it because Heliod... It'd be dying for Heliod's sins, for sure. Dying for Heliod's sins. Oh! Scoot Gandy with the super chat. The best way to start a morning. Thank you very much. And thanks. Look, this looks beautiful. Your avatar and the donation color, they match perfectly with my background. It looks great. That looks great. I just want to leave it on my screen for as long as I can. Anyway, what's going on here? You know what time it is, everybody? It's time for Decklist review. All right. So if you want Year 75 to get reviewed on this channel, go into my description. Because in my description, there is a link to my Discord. In my Discord, there is a channel called Decklist Review. And in that channel, you can enter the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list. And you'll be eligible at random to be chosen for Decklist Review. We do this every weekday. There's always another chance, but you always got to submit it every single day. So I clear the queue every single day. We got 28 people so far ready for Decklist Review. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What do you think about the Japanese box foils from Strixhaven as opposed to the collector's Japanese foils? I don't know what the differences are. I don't know the difference. I'd love to give you some feedback. Is there a difference between the English box foils where you get Japanese cards and the Japanese foils? I don't know. I just got myself, recently, I got myself some foil Japanese counter spells. Because I am speculating. First off, I just want to own the card. It's a beautiful card. It's gorgeous. Let me share with you what this card looks like. Let's get that Strixhaven counter spell up. Anyway, I think this picture is just gorgeous. I love it. So I've decided I wanted to get foil Japanese of these, but I'm trying to get them before Modern Horizons is spoiled. There is a chance that counter spell is gonna be in Modern Horizons, and if it is, this card will go just fucking nuts in price. So I just want to get it in now before sooner or later. There's etching in the Japanese cards in SBB. I don't know what that means. But so anyway, I got 2 so far. I want to get 2 more, ideally before the Modern Horizons is announced, because there was one card spoiled, right? There was that. What is the card called that? I have a hard time seeing the shape of the illustration. You don't need to say. There's a big circle here. Someone in a kimono with a fan. The fan is protecting them. Fan pack protect. So anyway. If Counterspell isn't in Modern Horizons 2, I quit MTG for good. You quit like 5 times a year. Quit 5 times a year. Waiting for the Judge promo Counterspell I bought for $59 to jump to 400 because of Modern. Good. Oh yeah, Abundant Harvest. So apparently Abundant Harvest, that was an accidental leak. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. Someone said this is an accidental leak. This is a Modern Horizons card that got leaked early. I guess they didn't know that the Strix... I don't know. Maybe they didn't plan Modern Horizons around Strixhaven properly. So now I'm getting the sense that maybe there are other cards that came out in that Strixhaven Mystical Archive that are Modern Horizons cards. You know what I mean? Doesn't that make a little sense? It's not accidental. It is a Modern Horizons 2 card. So, anyway, I got myself some counter spells. All right, so as people are spinning Decklist for Decklist review, do you know where I got my counter spells from? Do you know where I got my counter spells from? FusionGamingOnline.com. This is my local game store I pick up all my singles from. Sometimes you get a deal of the week. Deal of the week this week, 15% off Old Time Spiral Remastered. So if you're looking to pick up those Goyce and Chalice of the Voids, you can get 15% off at Fusion. That's a great deal. Like, this set just came out, Time Spiral Remastered. Don't forget, you can, if 15% off somehow isn't enough for you, you can get an additional 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. It's a good deal. And also, you can just regularly get Time Spiral Remastered products. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. This month is Modern for their... They have a monthly free roll. Doesn't cost you anything to enter, but if you're a manager and you get cash money, you get real money going into these free rolls. And if you're a Mana Traders member, you get 10 times the prizes. Just look up the Mana Traders series here. But anyway, Modern is the format this month, so for all you Modern aficionados, Modern fans, you could start grinding this free roll for it. And anyway, you want to support the channel, you want to start renting any deck that you want. You can possibly imagine for Modern, you're going to want to get Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can save 15% off your first 2 months using my coupon code Nikachu. A little bit of value there. A little bit of value. Where's my stuff? Here we go. Oh, we got super chat. Chris Ross. I'm late today, so before we start the reviews, what are your thoughts on Valentin and Researcher, our new green vampires from Strixhaven? Valentin, Dean of Vane. This card looks sort of good, but the awkward part is using the second half is near damn impossible. Like, Menace Lifelink, that's not too bad. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do pay, you can pay 2. If you do create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, you know, it's whatever. And the backside is great. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 1 if you do put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until end of turn. This is pretty strong, and it's a 4/4 for 4 mana. So you have a decent 1-drop in the beginning, and then you have a really competent 4/4 creature later in the game. But the problem is the front half is not that great. It's very weak. It's a 1/2. It's a 1/1 creature. It'd be way better as a 1/2 creature. But what about and Researcher? Oh, is the other side the Researcher? No. And Researcher. Oh, you mean Blood Researcher? Menace, whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Researcher. I don't know if that's modern power level for 3 mana. For 2 mana, maybe. 3 mana, not so much. Well, I like the Menace, but I think the first one's more playable than the second one. I think the first one's more playable. The problem is how to use that's the real key. How to use the green splash, because you're forfeiting the red splash, the white splash. There's a lot of good stuff for vampires in red and white. You're throwing those things away to go green. Is there enough of a payoff? Like that, they've done that to Merfolk many times. They give you like, what is that? Mire Triton, 2/1 death touch that gains life. That is great. The problem is it's a black creature. We don't have any support in black for Merfolk. Nothing. So, I mean, you can sometimes have pretty decent cards, but like you need to have like a really good reason to go that direction. Anyway, the 1-drop playable. Second, I think the Blood Researcher not as playable. Absent Vampires, maybe. All right, let's go take a look. A Decklist. The time is now. Is it? Ooh, this is a site I've never seen before. Jeskai Scepter Control. Several locks in the form of Silence, Ethereal Haze, and Angel's Grace. The rest of the deck is lean control deck. Meant to buy time until you can resolve a Scepter. And you're talking about Isochron Scepter. The biggest... oh, man. Okay. So imprudent, whenever Isochron Scepter comes into play, you may remove an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less in your hand from the game. You may copy the imprinted instant card. If you do, you may play the copy without paying its mana cost. The problem with decks like this is, like, if they blow up the Scepter, and there's certainly millions of ways they can blow up the Scepter and get rid of it, you're in trouble. You are in a lot of trouble. You get 2 for 1, and you're just ruined. Okay, but that being said, if you really want to base your deck around this, I think you've got some of the right cards here. You got Young Pyromancer. Maybe you should also have Seasoned Pyromancer in here. So the idea is you're trying to put like Angel's Grace on here. You can't lose the game, so you have Perpetual Angel's Graces, Perpetual Hazes. I think you should have... Can't lose the game. Your opponents can't win the game. Shouldn't you have 4 Angel's Graces? Isn't that better than Ethereal Haze? Because if you prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn, or you want to do this because this prevents infect damage. Does it prevent infect damage? I'm assuming it does. But you shouldn't be so worried about infect. Imprint Metamorphose. Is there a card draw spell here? There's Opt. Your opponent can't cast spells this turn. But what are you going to do about... I don't know if this is that strong. If your opponent has an empty board, that's strong. But this deck is not meant to deal with the board very well. Oh, I like that. Dreadhorde Arcanist seems good to... Oh, no. Is it good? Dreadhorde Arcanist might not be good because you don't want to play these things on your turn. It doesn't matter. I thought it was good. I thought that was good, too. For a split second, but Dreadhorde Arcanist, you can only play it until end of turn, if I understand correctly. May cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to Dreadhorde Arcanist. Power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So you can't... Yeah, like, playing Silence on your turn is pointless. How about comboing it with Magecraft? But then you just might as well play a lot of other Magecraft stuff. Okay, you should probably play this more... I don't know if you should play this more like a control deck. Oh, okay, I have a question out there. How do we find this thing consistently? Because this deck is so dependent on this Isochron Scepter, and if we don't find it, we're just dead. Like, we so badly need this. I still think you should have 4 Angel's Graces, 2 Ethereal Hazes in this deck. Bolt on a Scepter is good. Is there any way we can dig for this outside of Opt? Like, legitimately dig. Oh, Final Fortune? Not legal in Modern. Take an extra turn after this one. At the end of game, you... No, that is nothing. What? There's nothing to do with what we want to do. Whoops. The mage that finds 2 drops? But I think it's an equipment, not an artifact. Search for glory? Search your library for a snow permanent card, a legendary card, or a saga card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You may gain 1 life for each snow spent. That's not too bad. We are running Trinket, does Trinket Mage work? You search your library for an artifact card with conversion at cost 1 or less. No, it does not. Fabricate. Library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. This is too clunky. Is it Trophy Mage that works? I swear it's just equipment, though. Search your library for an artifact card with conversion at cost 3 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay, that works. Trophy Mage works. I would put a few Trophy Mages in this deck. Because this deck so badly depends on this card that it will fall apart if you don't get it consistently. You will waste your time with Angel's Graces, Ethereal Hazes, and Silences, and then you just lose the game. So I would suggest maybe instead of Snapcaster Mage, or maybe instead of Path to... I don't even know what you're doing with... Actually, remove the Path to Exile. Remove 4 Path. I don't know what the point of this card is when you're trying to lock your opponent out with these spells. That's sort of a nombo, you know what I mean? Also puts into question if you really need these cards. But anyway, put 4 of the Trophy Mages in your deck. I think that would help a lot. And then after that, you hopefully play Trophy Mage into... So you play Isochron. Hopefully by turn 4, and that's a pretty good curve, by the way. Turn 4, Isochron Scepter. Put something on it. Oh, I see. You might want to have a Path to Exile with an Isochron Scepter on it. I don't know what to remove then. Maybe you might be tapping out a lot, so maybe Mana Leak is not so good in this deck anymore. And Mana Leak's not good in the long run anyway. Tribute Mage? Tribute Mage enters the battlefield. You may search your library for an artifact card with convert mana cost 2 or less. Reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Isn't that the same as Trophy Mage? Or is Trophy Mage not legal? Trophy Mage, you may search your library for convert mana cost 3. Oh, it has to be 3. Okay, sorry. Tribute Mage is the card. You're right. It had to be exactly 3. That's funny. We want to go down. We want to go down 1. It's the same card, except it finds convert mana cost 2. Okay, Tribute Mage. Anyway, that's a good answer. Or that's a good addition to this deck. So you go turn... I don't know what you do on turn 2. Bolt, Lightning, Helix, Mana Leak. I think you want to take out the Path to Exiles, but maybe you want to take out all the Mana Leaks. And then on turn 3, you play your Tribute Mage, which can be a blocker, by the way. Stall the game. Then you Isochron Scepter, put, I don't know, Angel's Grace under it, and then just Angel's Grace every turn. But to be honest, I think this is a jank sort of deck. Because all your opponent has to do is answer the Isochron Scepter. A lot of decks have answers. Like, even playing Silence at the beginning of the turn, every turn isn't going to do it. Turn 1, Trinket, Tribute, then Trophy. Interesting. Yeah, maybe Gideon of the Trials is not a bad idea. It's like a threat and an Angel's Grace all rolled into one. That's possible. Anyway, lands... Sure. I think you have a... I don't know a Vapor Snag. I think that's a pretty crappy card for your deck. Like, I don't understand this creature interaction when you're just trying to lock them out with this stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, the Path to Exile doesn't make much sense to me. The Bolt and the Helix makes sense, because eventually you go Isochron Scepter, Bolt, and you can keep bolting their face for victory. Well, that's the thing. Like, what's the point of sweepers when, like, the point of this deck is to lock you out with Angel's Grace? It's just a waste of time. Playing with the sweeper seems very unnecessary. If you play with a sweeper, then you just might as well just play a control deck. So I'm trying to play within the theme of this card. But, like, this deck is so dependent on this card. So dependent that I want to throw the Tribute Mage in there. Anyway, I hope that was some valuable feedback. Good luck with the deck. Next. Mr. Lord High Artificer. Mr. Pauper Delver Scred Counterburn. Interesting. Sounds like a Delver deck. Sounds like Blue-Red Delver to me. Why not? That's probably a good idea, actually. Ensnaring Bridge in that last deck. That's a good idea. Give yourself extra lock pieces. But whatever. That's probably a completely different archetype. That sounds interesting, though. All right, we got Pauper players. Get your Pauper caps on. We have 4 Delver of Secrets, 3 Thermo Alchemists, 3 Wee Dragonauts. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Look, they're bringing prowess to Pauper. Prowess to Pauper. 3 Brainstorm, 4 Lightning Bolt, 4 Ponder, 2 Preordain, 3 Scred, 4 Vapor Snag. Now, Vapor Snag in this format is a lot better. Arcane Denial. Really? I mean, I shouldn't question it. Somehow I thought this is not a... I thought this was an uncommon, unless it got printed as a common somewhere. Yeah, it's legal in Pauper. All right, you win. It was uncommon, right? Instant. Does it say if it's a... Oh, no, it was always a common. Okay. Oh, yeah, may the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day today. Okay, so Arcane Denial, 4 Counterspell, 1 Logic Knot, 2 Magma Jet, 1 Mana Leak, 1 Calculated Dismissal. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. But Spell Mastery, if there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you can scry 2 as well. Is that so much better than, say, Mana Leak? Or maybe you have so many like generic counter spells that do the same thing that you want at least 1 card that can dig a little bit deeper. So you got 4 Evolving Wilds to combo with that. Brainstorm, Prismari Campus, 7 Snow-Covered Island, Mountain, and Volatile Fjord. 2 Blue Elemental Blast, Hydro Blast, Cleansing Wildfire, Logic Knot, Mana Leak, and 3 Molten Rain. I always thought, like, if you're gonna have 3 Molten Rain, maybe you'd have the 4th for the Tron matchup. Because how much? I mean, I don't know what the sideboarding looks like, but how badly do you need another Logic Knot, another Mana Leak in this deck? This deck has a lot of counter magic already. Arcane Denial, Counterspell, Logic Knot, Mana Leak, Calculated Dismissal. Does it need more? I mean, I can understand the Hydro Blast and the Blue Elemental Blast. Ash Barrens is better than Evolving Wilds. I understand Tron is one of the best decks, so the Molten Rain might make more sense than the extra counter spells. So Ash Barrens is a land that you can just pay. Oh, and you can cycle it. So yeah, so you still get the advantages of shuffling your deck for Brainstorm with Ash Barrens. Because you can basic land cycle, discard it, search your library for a basic. Is it better? I mean, I guess. You get... How much does this deck use colorless mana? It's not clearly better, right? Because if this is your only land in your hand, you're screwed. Whereas with this deck, because remember, this is a Delver deck, you're not going to have many lands in your hand. So if you have a starting hand with Ash Barrens, this is a mulligan. You can't do anything with this hand. Whereas if you have a starting hand with Evolving Wilds, you could, in theory, keep it, play it, sack it, get a basic land card, then on your next turn you play Brainstorm, look for another land, and then play your Delver or something. You know what I mean? Oh, Chris Ross, another super chat. Thank you very much, Chris. As a prowess player, I would only run Kiln Fiend and Nivix, Cyclops, and Pauper for my creatures. What's wrong with that? I mean, outside of these, so you wouldn't even try Delver? Is Delver just not worth it anymore? Yeah, we're playing Pauper right now. Prismatic Vista. Well, that's a little outside outside what we're allowed to do for Pauper. Come on, people. We got Counterspell, Arcane Denial. How does this not look like a Pauper deck at this point? Is Prohibit better than Mana Leak? Like it's the 2 mana counterspell. Or sorry, counterspell for 2. Oh no, it's counter target spell if its converted mana cost is 2 or less. If the spell was kicked, I don't think it's better than Mana Leak. It's not strictly better than Mana Leak at all. I would put more Preordain over Ponder. I think it makes more sense. It actually makes some sense to me that Ponder and Preordain should take precedent over Brainstorm. Because Brainstorm is better if you can shuffle your deck a lot. This deck cannot. This deck doesn't shuffle its deck at all. Just Evolving Wilds. I don't think it needs spells. This is a prowess deck. Sort of. Well, maybe not. I think it's a very different deck. I might even say this deck should go up on Preordain 1 Brainstorm and then just take out all the Evolving Wilds and go to, I don't know, play more of these Prismari Campuses. Because the shuffling doesn't seem that necessary in this archetype. Putting things in the graveyard don't seem that necessary. What else? But I can't get behind Ash Barrens. I just can't get behind that card. It's not clear to me. Is that what they're doing in Pauper? We're gonna go to the Pauper format. What are they doing in Pauper? For like a regular Delver deck. Is Delver dead now or something? Okay, let's look at Dimir Fairies. What is Dimir Fairies doing? They are playing they're playing some Ash Barrens, but they're playing 20 lands, okay? 20 lands. So these 2 Ash Barrens are free rolls. These are free rolls. But at 18 lands, I would not put a single Ash Barrens in this deck. At 18 lands, none. If you want to go up the land count and those extra lands are Ash Barrens, I could get behind that. But at 20, so like 20 lands, that's fine, because those 2 extra lands, those are Ash Barrens. But at 18 lands, I wouldn't have a single Ash Barrens in this deck. You could take out some cards for the Ash Barrens if necessary. Look up, is it Scred? Is this our Delver deck now? Well, not really. Lands 20 against. Oh, they have 3 Ash Barrens here. But still, they're in the line of like the extra lands are Ash Barrens. Here's a deal. How many creatures? They have 18 creatures. I might go up on your creatures. Thermo Alchemist deals 1 damage to each whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. I go up to 4 of these and 4 Wee Dragonauts. Take out... this Calculated Dismissal and, I don't know, one of the Mana Leaks. Or maybe... How good is it? Arcane Denial. What are other decks? Are they playing with Arcane Denial? So why do we have this Arcane Denial in here? Counter target spell. That spell's caster may drop to 2 cards. That sounds like a liability. I mean, you get to draw another card. Maybe it's more important for you. Do they have Izzet Blitz here? Whoops. We got Delver Fairies. I don't see anything clearly labeled Izzet Blitz. But I do think that you definitely need more creatures. Like, you don't have enough win condition in this deck. So definitely put in another Thermal Alchemist and another Wee Dragonauts in this deck. Also, because this is 3 mana, maybe you should go up to 20 lands. Or, I don't know, you have a lot of I don't know, maybe you have enough cantrips to hold your own. But I would take 3. I would take out 3 Arcane Denial, add a Thermal Alchemist or Wee Dragonauts, maybe go up to a 19th land. Take out this Mana Leak, add another Molten Rain. You have probably just way too many counter spells. Oh, you have the 4 Cleansing Wildfire. I looked over that, so maybe you don't need the Molten Rain as badly. This is Pauper. Play Kiln Fiend, bro. That's probably worth it too. That's probably very much worth it. I don't know what you take out for it. Probably like this. Okay, there's actually a non-bow here that I just realized. Wee Dragonauts should not be played with counter spells because those are non-bows. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. But that's going to be impossible to pull off with your counter spells. Like, this deck probably should just not have any counter spells at all. Or you can have them in the sideboard, but like main deck counter spells and a Wee Dragonauts, these are... Because you're playing them on your opponent's turn, which means your Wee Dragonauts isn't dealing a lot of damage. So maybe we want something like Fire and Ice instead. Anyway, some things to think about. I hope that was all some good, useful information. Definitely up your creature count. Some people say add Kiln Fiend. So like one way of really changing this deck, maybe for the better, take out all these counter spells, add more creatures, and add add 4 Kiln Fiend in addition to all this. And then you still have you can have some of the counter spells in the sideboard, I guess. You can keep the counter spells in the sideboard. I think you have enough of them. And I like these because these can be played proactively. And you should maybe have, is Pyroblast common? I'm assuming Pyroblast is common. Maybe you should have some Pyroblast in there. Sprite Dragon's uncommon, isn't it? Yeah, but Augur of Bolus is, I would say, is a bit clunky. Playable, totally playable, but I don't know if it's for this deck. Yes, this is Pauper. Anyway, though, that's all my feedback. Scrap the counter spells, add more creatures to the main deck, especially Kiln Fiend. Kiln Fiend looks great, and hopefully that will do something for you. Anyway, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG for today, people. If you want to see the replay, you go check it out at Nikachu MTG Streams. Not to mention, if I didn't get to your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, but not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will be gone. No Coffee and MTG tomorrow, but we'll resume on Thursday and for every other weekday. Of course, if you want to support the channel, you could leave a sub at twitch.tv. You can become a patron at patreon.com, or you can join on YouTube right here. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun every single morning. We start the morning right here on Nikachu MTG. So keep brewing up that coffee, and we'll keep brewing up magic. See you guys next time.